Greetings Warhammer enthusiast. Before you stands a voice assistant of the podcast, dedicated to spreading the greater good. If you find this information useful, please do not hesitate to leave a like and subscribe. Together, we shall explore the depths of the Warhammer universe and share in its wonders. In this video, we're diving into the remarkable universe of Warhammer 40k, specifically the green tide known as the Orkoids. We will explore their cryptic origins, unique biology, and distinct reproduction mechanisms. This species' extraordinary composition combines fungal and animal traits, enabling them to adapt and survive in various environments. We'll also focus on their diversity, studying not just the orcs, but also the essential fungus, the small yet numerous Gretchin and Snotlings, and the multifunctional organisms called Squigs. Prepare for an exciting journey through the green, war-torn expanse of the Orkoid world.
Orkoids is a term used to categorize several distinct but related species in the Warhammer 40k universe. These species share a common biological origin and ecological function, and together, they constitute the orc ecosystem. At the heart of the Orkoid species lies the orcs themselves, brawny, brutish, and fearsomely resilient. These green-skinned, hulking beings are endowed with an astonishingly resilient biology. Simple and sturdy in structure, an orc can withstand horrendous injuries that would spell doom for most other creatures. Their regenerative capabilities are a function of their remarkable physiology, a combination of animal and fungal characteristics. This unique composition allows orcs to not only survive severe traumas but also to propagate their kind through the dispersal of spores. Then we have the fungus, the most basic of Orkoid life forms, playing a significant role in the orc ecosystem. This isn't your average earth mushroom, but rather a collection of highly specialized and complex organisms that permeate the Orkoid biology. Spreading spores that grow into all Orkoid life forms, these fungus are the genesis of orc life. Among the Orkoid species, there exists the bizarre and enigmatic Squigs, fungal creatures of countless shapes and sizes, from small vermin-like beings to gargantuan monstrosities. Squigs fulfill a variety of roles in orc society, whether it be a source of food, a living ammunition for their crude firearms, or even companionship. Next, we find the Snotlings, the smallest of the Orkoid species. Despite their diminutive stature, they serve vital roles, tending to the fungus and caring for the Squigs. Snotlings are largely regarded as the farmers and laborious in the orc society, maintaining the necessary functions that allow the orc life cycle to continue. Then, there are the Gretchin, also colloquially referred to as grots. Larger than Snotlings, yet still significantly smaller than the orcs, they fulfill roles requiring more sophistication than the Snotlings could handle. Though they lack the physical prowess of the orcs, they compensate with a degree of cunning and deviousness, often acting as servants, technicians, or even as cannon fodder in battles. Together, this motley assembly of organisms forms the Orkoid species, a marvel of biological resilience and adaptability. Despite their outward appearance of chaos and disorder, there is a sense of crude symbiosis and functionality in their society, each species playing its part in their continued survival and propagation. Orcs, in their sheer strength and hardiness, Squigs with their varied uses, Snotlings and Gretchin serving the community, and the foundational fungus keeping the life cycle going, they all underline the unique and fascinating universe of the Orkoids. The unique biology of the orcs has spurred the development of several intriguing theories seeking to explain their origins and adaptations. The first of these theories posits that the orcs were originally under the control of the Snotlings, a species that, according to this narrative, attained intelligence after consuming a specific species of mushroom. Armed with newfound intellect, the Snotlings are said to have spread across the galaxy, with their less intelligent orc slaves aiding their colonization efforts. However, this era of Snotling dominance allegedly came to an abrupt end when the orcs consumed all remnants of the intellect-enhancing mushroom, which only grew on the Snotlings' home planet, thereby plunging the Snotlings back into a state of reduced intelligence. The second, and arguably more contemporary theory, posits the orks as the Krork, a species believed to have been engineered by the Old Ones, ancient beings known in orc legend as the Brain Boys. According to this hypothesis, the Old Ones created the Krork as a survivor race, designed to persevere through the grueling wars against the Necronti, an ancient race of starfaring beings. The evidence supporting this theory is multifold: the remarkable ability of Orkoids to form an entire ecosystem, their innate readiness for warfare, and the resilient nature of their biology, all of which suggest a purposeful design and genetic engineering by an advanced civilization, such as the Old Ones. In early iterations of this theory, the Brain Boys themselves were thought to be an Orkoid subspecies, along with the Orks, Squigs, and Gretchin. Each of these theories brings fascinating possibilities to the table, inviting us to contemplate the potential origins and evolution, or genetic engineering, of one of the most intriguing and resilient species in the galaxy. Whether the creation of ancient masters or the result of a bizarre, mushroom-induced intelligence spike, the unique biology of the orks continues to be a subject of enduring interest and speculation. What truly sets orks apart is their unique biological makeup. They are a symbiotic blend of animal and fungus, the two facets living in harmony, each strengthening the other, resulting in an organism of unparalleled hardiness and resilience. The fungal side of an orc's biology reduces the need for complex internal organs, immune systems, and reproductive anatomy. Unlike in humans, where a serious injury to vital internal organs can be lethal, the orc's fungal composition drastically minimizes the chances of fatal harm. This allows for a superior level of survivability, even in the face of serious damage. The animalistic side of orcs, on the other hand, showcases a primitive, pack-based, omnivorous growth pattern. They rely on each other for hunting and gathering, strengthening their community through shared tasks and struggles. However, it is this absence of a visible evolutionary process that holds the most intrigue, pointing towards the possibility of the orcs being the product of advanced biological engineering, rather than natural evolution. If this hypothesis holds true, it paints the orcs as the ultimate fighters, built to be robust, resilient, aggressive, with their extraordinary biology fortifying their battle prowess. The orc's green skin is one of their most distinguishing features, making them instantly recognizable. Their blood, too, is green, leading Magos biologists, the biologists of the universe, to theorize that orcs may possess a basic capability for photosynthesis. This would be a tremendous evolutionary advantage, allowing orcs to derive nutrients directly from sunlight, reducing their dependency on food supplies, and enabling them to focus their resources on ammunition, fuel, and other necessities of war. The composition of orc blood is a complex cocktail of various distinct fungal organisms, rich in chlorophyll with trace elements of carbon and copper. The presence of chlorophyll, the pigment responsible for photosynthesis in plants, accounts for the blood's green hue and reinforces the theory of orcs' photosynthetic abilities. This makes them a remarkably self-sustaining species, requiring less external input for survival compared to other races. The orc, as a member of the broader xenos of the galaxy, possesses a cranium comparable in its basic structure to that of a human, albeit with a distinctly different shape and coloration. Their teeth, suited for an omnivorous or opportunistic diet, mirror their societal organization, which is reminiscent of a primitive, pack-based structure. The skull of an orc, along with numerous other components of their anatomy, is considerably thicker than that of a human, offering them a degree of durability that vastly surpasses human capabilities. The tusks protruding from an orc's face are a defining feature. However, they appear to be less linked with food consumption, despite the orc's photosynthetic abilities and their propensity to consume food, primarily squigs, and seem to serve more as decorative or combative elements, with the latter being the more likely function. Orcs also possess pointed ears, akin to the Eldar, although these are marked by a low density of nerve clusters. This suggests a streamlined approach to the creation of the orc physiology, with a focus on efficiency and durability, at the cost of the nuances of sensation. The internal organs of an orc are testament to the efficiency of simplicity. Reliant heavily on their fungal counterparts, these organs, despite their rudimentary design, serve their purpose admirably. An orc possesses a large, multi-chambered stomach that feeds a crude renal system. Complementing this is a body cavity filled with a fungal soup that effectively substitutes the function of biochemical organs such as the liver, kidney, spleen, and pancreas. This unique structure provides orcs with an impressively robust internal system. The bones of an orc are thick, sturdy, and designed for durability. They can withstand high-velocity impacts without fracture, thanks to the presence of a spongy fungal matter in the core, a stand-in for the marrow found in human bones. The orc brain, curiously devoid of any fungal or vegetable matter, is structurally akin to a human or Eldar brain. The most developed part of their brain is the primitive or old brain, which governs basic functions, explaining their inherent aggression and pack hunting strategies. A considerable portion of the orc body is filled with a protective, spongy mass, likely a safeguard for the sparse internal organs they possess. Notably, orcs also have several gill-like structures scattered across their bodies, presumably aiding in oxygen absorption. The architecture of the orc body is a marvel of simplistic efficiency and durability. It showcases a species genetically engineered for combat, with extraordinarily strong muscles and stout bodies capable of withstanding punishing damage. The fusion of animalistic and fungal elements in their biology, the streamlined internal systems, and the protective adaptations reflect a species designed for survival and aggression, thriving amidst the chaos of war and the unforgiving vastness of space. The intriguing relationship between the Orkoid races and fungi forms an intrinsic part of their existence. Every member of the Orkoid species, from the lowliest Gretchin to the mightiest war boss, originates from the same source, the ubiquitous orc spore. This means that under different conditions, the same spore has the potential to develop into a full-fledged orc warboss, a simple fungus, or anything in between. This highly unique and adaptable reproductive system makes the Orkoid species more than just a collection of different races. Instead, they represent a complete, self-sustaining ecosystem. Each component, from the fungi to the orcs themselves, has a symbiotic relationship with the others, contributing to the overall functionality and survival of the system. When orcs invade new worlds, their spores infiltrate the local environment, thereby implanting the beginnings of this unique ecosystem in new territories. It's widely recognized that once a world has been exposed to orc spores, it's almost impossible to entirely eradicate the Orkoid presence. These resilient spores find sanctuary in the wilderness, lying dormant until conditions are suitable for growth, at which point they germinate, giving birth to various forms of Orkoid life and spreading the Orkoid ecosystem even further. This can lead to situations where a planet, having repelled an orc war, finds itself, decades later, under sudden assault from feral orc tribes emerging from the wilderness. Different types of Orkoid fungus fulfill essential roles within orc society. Large patches of these fungi often surround orc settlements, cultivated with care by Snotlings. These fungi form a fundamental source of food for the orcs, providing sustenance and aiding their survival in various environments. Puffballs are spherical fungi that contain vast quantities of toxic spores. When ruptured or crushed, these spores are released into the environment. Ingeniously, Snotlings have found a use for these fungi in warfare, using them as rudimentary biological weapons. They drop the puffballs near the enemy's feet, and upon stepping or stumbling on them, the enemy is engulfed in a cloud of poisonous spores. All Orkoids are immune to the toxins, experiencing only minor discomfort in the form of coughing and gagging. However, puffballs are not just used for warfare. When cleared of spores, they serve as an edible shell for stuffed meals, commonly filled with marinated squig meat, a popular delicacy among orcs. Additionally, spores from different puffball varieties are harvested for the creation of fungus gas bombs and also serve various medical purposes. The speckled bloodshade, on the other hand, is a striking fungus distinguished by its deep red or purple hue, dappled with yellow or green spots. It's a source of nourishment for orcs and also has significant medicinal uses due to its interaction with the orc circulatory system. The bloodshade is rich in molds and spores, which are also found in orc blood and skin. As a result, this fungus can be utilized to enrich orc blood, essentially accelerating their metabolism. This is typically done through the injection of fungus juice. Moreover, the bloodshade's unique properties can be employed to slow down blood flow, making it invaluable for treating wounded orcs. Among the Orkoid fungi, there is another variant known as the gobbuster. True to its name, this fungus can grow to exceptional sizes, making it a challenge to consume in one sitting. The gobbuster is renowned for its sturdy texture and potent, spicy tang. Older and larger specimens are so intense that even orcs sometimes find themselves forced to spit them out. For some orcs, finishing a gobbuster is considered a feat of endurance. Overcoming its tough texture and strong flavor is seen as a test of one's resolve, making the consumption of a gobbuster an act of bravado as much as a meal. In this way, even orc culinary practices reflect their inherent tenacity and resilience. In the intricate hierarchy of orc society, the Snotlings, affectionately referred to as snots, are the small and seemingly insignificant Orkoids that occupy the bottommost rung. Despite their stature and status, Snotlings play a crucial role in maintaining the functioning of orc settlements. Physically, Snotlings resemble miniature Gretchin. This gives them an unassuming and almost endearing quality in the eyes of their larger orc cousins. Their status in orc society is often compared to that of pets, but this is a simplification of the significant roles they play. More accurately, Snotlings can be viewed as the essential agricultural and husbandry backbone of orc society. Snotlings share a natural affinity with the fungus and squigs that pervade orc habitats. Under the supervision and guidance of orc runthards, Snotlings cultivate fungus, which serves multiple purposes. It is a source of sustenance for the orcs, providing food, drink, and even the basis for medicine. They often indulge in these fungi, sometimes to a point of excess, which can trigger peculiar side effects. One such effect is known as fungoid transformation. When this occurs, the overfed Snotlings start to display a change in behavior. They become increasingly lazy and aimless, gradually transforming into vegetative states. This transformation sees them merging with the fungi they so relish, resulting in a hybrid organism known as a snotroom or mushling. This strange fungal entity retains the vestiges of a snotling face, a reminder of its origins. These hybrid fungi are usually reserved for special occasions due to their tough texture and substantial size. Consumed as a delicacy during festivals, the snotrooms or mushlings represent an unusual, yet integral part of orc culinary traditions. The squigs, despite being potentially hazardous to the snotlings, are also nurtured and managed by them. It's a testament to their instinctive understanding of squigs that the daily casualties remain relatively low. However, the harsh realities of orc life spare no one, and the snotlings are no exception. The battlefield is particularly brutal for these small creatures, primarily due to their lack of the ferocious combat instincts that their larger counterparts exhibit. In terms of armament, snotlings typically use small, basic melee weapons, reflecting their physical limitations and simplicity. Yet, they exhibit a peculiar form of bravery, possibly stemming from their rudimentary level of intelligence. Snotlings seem to lack the ability to foresee danger until it's too late, making them uncharacteristically fearless. This trait is often exploited in battle, particularly with the use of the infamous shock attack gun. Snotlings are used as live ammunition, warped through the unpredictable and terrifying energy tunnel created by the weapon, wreaking havoc upon their arrival. In summary, Snotlings, while small and seemingly insignificant, serve as the essential building blocks of Ork society, contributing in ways that might go unnoticed but are undeniably crucial to the functioning and survival of their community. Their fearless nature and symbiotic relationship with the Ork ecosystem underscore the unique and intricate dynamics of the Orkoid species. Squigs, short for squiggly beasts, are an integral part of the Orkoid ecosystem. Lacking in intellectual capacity but impressive in their aggression, Squigs play various vital roles within the Ork ecosystem, marking an unusual, yet efficient symbiotic relationship with the rest of the Orkoid species. A multitude of squig types exist, each serving a particular functional role within the Ork ecosystem. Some squigs, for instance, are utilized as a food source or for their skin, while others are maintained as formidable pets. The largest of the squigs can even be used as beasts of burden, ridden into the battlefield. Certain Ork clans, focusing on the breeding of squigs, have specialized in creating ever larger and more aggressive strains, underscoring the vital importance of these creatures to Ork society. Squigs feed on an array of substances including the waste products of larger Orkoids, local plant and animal life, and even each other when necessary. Their nourishment plays a crucial role in the sustainability of the Orkoid ecosystem. In turn, they serve as one of the Ork's primary sources of sustenance, alongside the various species of Orkoid fungus. Theories advanced by the genus of the Adeptus Mechanicus suggest that the squig's role and function in the Orkoid ecosystem may not be accidental but rather a deliberate creation by the Ork's forebears. According to this theory, the squigs were designed as part of a simple yet mobile ecosystem that supports the Orkoid species in their interstellar travels. This system, it is suggested, has been a key contributor to the Ork's ability to colonize vast portions of the galaxy. In essence, the squigs represent an important evolutionary strategy, enabling the Ork's expansionist tendencies by offering them a ready source of sustenance and resources, regardless of the environmental conditions of the worlds they invade. Despite their diversity, most squigs fall into certain recognizable categories based on their use or function, including edible squigs, musical squigs, hair squigs, and parasite-hunting squigs, among others. These squigs grow and breed in the waste disposal areas of Ork settlements, colloquially known as the drops. Here, they subsist on the refuse and waste of the Orks. The job of extracting these creatures from the drops typically falls to the Gretchin and Snotlings, the smaller and more servile members of the Orkoid species. Supervision of these extraction efforts is provided by the Runthards, Orks who specialize in managing and controlling the Gretchin and Snotlings. It's interesting to note that most squigs are safe to eat, and some have even been selectively bred for consumption. Buzz squigs are small, edible creatures that, when consumed, give the Orkoid consumer a tremendous surge of energy that far exceeds their already high natural energy levels. They can be thought of as an energy snack or a quick pick-me-up in the Orkoid diet. The eating squigs, as the name suggests, are specifically bred and consumed as food. They are a staple of the Orkoid diet. Almost all squig breeds can be consumed, but the eating squigs are considered particularly palatable. They are typically cooked before eating, though it's not uncommon for Orks to eat them raw when necessary. Gretchin, the diminutive and subordinate members of the Orkoid species, are particularly skilled at preparing eating squigs. Cooking methods include kebabbing, marinating in fungus wine, stuffing with fungus and herbs, roasting on a spit, deep frying with fungus chips, or griddling over a campfire. Among the eating squigs, the most prized are the juicy squigs. These squigs can be found at the very bottom of the drops, the waste disposal areas in Ork settlements. Their rarity and the difficulty of retrieving them from the depths make them a sought-after delicacy. Furthermore, because they are rarely found, they often have the opportunity to grow larger, which is believed to enhance their taste. Only the most skilled Gretchin cooks are entrusted with preparing juicy squigs, which are usually reserved for the knobs, the Orkoid elite, who are considered to have a more refined appreciation for the finer aspects of Ork culture. Face-eater squigs, also known as gnasher squigs, are among the most ferocious and dangerous varieties of squig. They have a gigantic mouth filled with needle-like teeth that can swallow a snotling whole. Orks daringly capture these creatures for use in squig-eating contests where the goal is to eat the squig before it can bite their face off. These contests serve as a thrilling sport and a gambling event, with the triumphant Ork potentially gaining great wealth. However, attempts by painboys to utilize these squigs as amputation tools have often ended with loss of Ork limbs. Flesh-eater squigs are large, ferocious creatures, bred by certain wealthy runthards. They have large, crocodile-like mouths full of sharp fangs similar to Ork teeth, which they shed and replace just like the Orks. These squigs are highly valuable as their teeth represent a considerable source of wealth. They rarely breed in captivity and are thus prized possessions, often sparking conflicts among Orks over their ownership. Gob squigs are tiny creatures that an Ork can keep in its mouth for several days. They clean the Ork's teeth by eating the food stuck between them. A specific type of gob squig, known as the Chewin squig, is chewed by Orks during periods of rest or contemplation. Hairy squigs are small squigs characterized by a large tuft of brightly colored hair. They are kept by Orks, who are naturally hairless, to mimic various hairstyles. They attach to the Ork's scalp, feeding on the skin, and can live there indefinitely. Hairy squigs are also used by painboys for wound management, acting as living stitches by clinging onto the wound edges with their tiny teeth, and feeding on the blood while keeping the wound clean. Swab squigs are related to hairy squigs, but instead of long hair, their round bodies are covered with fur. Painboys use them to mop up during operations or as handkerchiefs. Despite their seemingly harmless nature, swab squigs can deliver a nasty bite to smaller creatures like snotlings. Parasite hunting squigs are tiny squigs used to remove parasites from Ork bodies and clothing. They consume any lice, ticks, or leeches they find on their host, and may be eaten by the Ork in case they fall off or the Ork feels hungry. Bag squigs are a breed of squig that have large, bag-like bodies dominated by a single, massive stomach. They can survive on the slow digestion of even the least appealing food items. Orks use them as bags or pouches, curing their hides like leather, or as flasks for carrying drink when they are dried out. Squig pipes are peculiar breeds of squig with multiple tube-like proboscises stemming from their bag-like bodies. They are used by Orks as musical instruments, similar to human bagpipes. They can be inflated by blowing into one proboscis, and squeezing the squig produces strange and disturbing sounds through the other pipes. While the noise they create is cacophonous to human ears, it's a rallying cry for Orks, especially in the heat of battle. Paint squigs are small, colorful creatures that excrete potent dyes used by Orkoids for various artistic purposes. Gretchin use these dyes to paint banners and clothes, while Orks use them as war paint. Some paint squigs even have tufts of hair on their tails, which can serve as paintbrushes. Oily squigs are slug-like creatures that produce a thick, oily black secretion. This oil is used by Orks for lubricating machinery. For on-the-spot lubrication, an Ork mech will simply grab and squeeze the squig to release the oil where needed. Given the large quantities of oil often required, these squigs are frequently bred in abundance. To extract the oil, a pressing machine is used, though some resort to primitive methods such as having Gretchin stomp on the squigs. Barrels of squig oil are prepared in advance and taken on Ork campaigns. Smasher squigs are large, fierce creatures that are ridden by beast snagger knobs. They are among the few squig breeds that can bear the weight of an Ork warrior, and thus are of great value on the battlefield. Squiggoths are quadrupedal squigs of substantial size used as cavalry mounts by orc squiggoth boys. Their size and durability make them ideal for charging enemy lines and traversing difficult terrains. Squiggoths are enormous, bipedal squigs that beast snaggas use as mounts. They are incredibly formidable, with the most renowned being the Big Chomper, ridden by Mosrog Scragbad. Tramplasquigs are gargantuan, quadrupedal squigs used by beast snaggas to pull their hunter and kill rigs vehicles. Their immense strength and size make them perfect for hauling these heavy war machines. A peculiar creature with a single eye, the targeting squig serves as a biological version of a gitfinder, a device used by the orcs' flash gits for targeting purposes. The squig's single eye is developed to serve as an excellent aiming and tracking device, enhancing the flash git's accuracy in combat. The word squig is an Orkoid mutant breed, which is not commonly found in the wild. This breed of the Nasher squig is distinguishable by its oversized neural lobes, which are densely packed. These lobes allow the word squig to function as a psionic bomb. The mechanism is activated upon the death of the word squig, causing a significant release of energy that can be destructive. Syringe squigs are dangerous predators that kill their prey using a long, needle-sharp proboscis. Some of the largest syringe squigs have a proboscis that can extend up to 18 inches. In orc society, pain boys use these squigs in a medical context. They squeeze the squig to release its venom, which, while not deadly to orcs, can render them unconscious for up to 3 days, thus functioning as an anesthetic. The venom is also sometimes extracted and used separately, either for concocting special medicines, or for situations that require a larger dose. This breed of squig is covered in spines and is generally safe to handle under normal circumstances. However, when threatened or agitated, the spiky squig instinctively shoots out its spines like a porcupine, delivering a poisonous sting to anything it hits. Though the poison is less potent on orcish flesh, spiky squigs are sometimes used as weapons by orcs. Bomb squigs are essentially living explosives. These squigs are equipped with explosives and are used as mobile bombs. They can be strapped with the explosives and directed towards enemy lines where they explode on impact, causing significant damage. The boom squig is a breed that's notorious for its explosive defense mechanism. These creatures, often launched from squig launchers and heavy squig launchers, explode violently when provoked, even by the slightest contact or loud noise. The explosion is so powerful that it can maim or kill anything nearby. This trait makes them perfect as living ammunition for orcs, who sometimes also use them as practical jokes, placing them under the seats of unsuspecting victims. Bile squigs are a variety of squigs that can release harmful fluids. Frequently launched from squig launchers and heavy squig launchers, these creatures can spray, squirt, or vomit a variety of substances, including acid, lubricants, poisons, and flammable fluids. The effects vary and can range from harmless to fatal, such as causing victims to explode or dissolve. Bitey squigs, often launched from squig launchers and heavy squig launchers, are aggressive and well-equipped for causing harm. They have powerful jaws, sharp claws, and stingers that can savagely attack their targets. Upon launch, they attach themselves to the first thing they hit and continue to chew and attack until they are killed. This lively variety of squig is often kept as pets or mascots. Comparable in size to a small dog, they are far more vicious. They often follow their masters around, providing amusement by snapping at the ankles of other orcs. As owning a pet squig is a mark of status, they are usually owned by knobs or odd boys. The mimic is an especially popular variety of pet squig. They are named for their beak-like mouth and parrot-like appearance. Mimic squigs have the ability to mimic sounds and are known to utter expletives and insults at passers-by. They are often perched on the shoulders of elderly orcs, making them a common sight amongst freebooters. The presence of a mimic squig often adds to the rough and ready image of an orc warband. Also known as squihounds or sniffer squigs, herd squigs are a special breed developed by Runthards to herd Gretchin, demonstrating the versatility of squigs. This breed stands out due to its speed, intelligence, ferocity, and endurance. They possess an excellent sense of smell and hearing, enabling them to effectively track grots and snotlings, or even lost items of equipment. Their powerful legs allow for great speed and endurance, which are key traits for herding purposes. Herd squigs respond to a combination of calls and whistles from their Runthard masters and are known to get very attached to them. A unique aspect is that the commands of a herd squig vary from one Runthard to the next, making it impossible for one to command a herd squig trained by another. Additionally, these creatures can produce barking sounds, similar to dogs. An attack squig is a strain of squig that essentially acts as the orc's attack dog. Designed for battle, they are predatory creatures equipped with strong legs and snapping jaws filled with sharp fangs. Warbosses and oddboys often keep attack squigs as pets and use them as weapons during battle. Runthards are known to gather them in large herds and throw them at enemies, or use them to guard significant locations. However, they are equally likely to attack their own kind, making them a volatile element in any battle scenario. The breadth and variety of squig species in the Warhammer 40k universe is almost beyond comprehension. They come in a vast array of forms, each unique and adapted to serve a particular purpose within the orc society. Some squigs function as the very life support system of the orc spacecraft, ensuring that the ship's environment is suitable for orc life. These gigantic squigs are akin to organic life support devices. They actively contribute to the creation and maintenance of a breathable atmosphere within orc vessels, demonstrating the intricate symbiotic relationship between orcs and their squigs. On the other end of the size spectrum are microscopic squigs, tiny organisms living on orc bodies. Though they are not visible to the naked eye, their role is no less important. These microscopic squigs contribute to the overall well-being of an orc by performing a myriad of tasks at a cellular level. The complexity of this internal ecosystem is just another testament to the diverse adaptability of the squig species. Squiggoths, known as one of the largest variations of squigs, represent a pinnacle of feral orc fungoid fauna. With the size varying dramatically from that of a main battle tank to a gargantuan monstrosity matching an imperial titan, Squiggoths play a crucial role in the orc ecosystem and warfare. While the Squiggoths display a broad range of appearances, two distinct manifestations are most common. Some take on the characteristics of woolly, tusked beasts reminiscent of terrestrial prehistoric mammals. In contrast, the most prevalent form resembles a dinosaur, an aspect that only further emphasizes their primitive and raw nature. This creature's most common use among orcs is that of a living battle platform. A howdah, akin to a battle carriage, is frequently installed on a Squiggoth's back. From this elevated and mobile position, orc boys charge into the battle fray, wielding a variety of weapons including the formidable Supaloba. Furthermore, to ensure their Squiggoth's longevity and effectiveness in combat, orcs often enhance these living war machines with additional armor plating, giving them an even more menacing appearance. From a biological perspective, Squiggoths align with the unique nature of all greenskin organisms. The Magos biologist of the Adeptus Mechanicus classifies them as fungal life forms. However, due to their size and complexity, Squiggoths are a relatively rare species, the breeding of which requires specialized knowledge and resources. One such breeder known across the clans is Pigdock of the Snakebites clan. The size of a Squiggoth is intrinsically tied to the quality of the feed formula provided by the breeder. Those Squiggoths fed with less effective formulas often end up smaller in size. On the other hand, superior, high-quality formulas can yield Squiggoths of astonishing proportions. This dichotomy has resulted in two notable Squiggoth subspecies. The first is the big Squiggoth. Though smaller in size, big Squiggoths are a more common sight within the Squiggoth population. They are either young specimens or those that didn't receive a particularly effective diet during their growth. Despite their relative size, big Squiggoths still represent a formidable threat, especially when moving in packs. The second is the gargantuan Squiggoth, a true testament to the growth potential of these creatures. These colossal beasts match the size of smaller imperial titans, making them a sight to behold on any battlefield. Gargantuan Squiggoths owe their massive size to the finest feed formulas, closely guarded secrets of the Snakebites clan. Such enormous Squiggoths are sometimes favored as mounts by powerful orc warbosses, a clear demonstration of their status and power. In addition to Squiggoths, the Orchiosaurus represents another impressive subspecies of squig. These creatures exceed even the Squiggoth in size, utilized by feral orcs as troop transports and war machines, further reinforcing the awe-inspiring diversity and scale of the squig species.
In our upcoming installment, we'll delve deeper into the lives and roles of the Gretchin and the Orks, exploring their complex social structures, roles in warfare, and more intriguing aspects of their existence within the Orkoid society. You won't want to miss this fascinating continuation. So be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that bell icon for notifications. Stay tuned as we unravel more secrets of the Warhammer 40k universe.